Do you believe in ghosts?
No.
About centaurs?
Surely.
They like put their eggs in living creatures and then the babies hatch and they eat their way out.
Amazing.
A bloody interview.
Welcome to the Plinky Plonky Spotlight, a series of interviews to illuminate some of Sydney's amazing talent. I am joined with 4 amazing musicians who form the band Euterpe. From left to right we have Bianca, who is on vocals and guitar, Mim on bass, Oscar on drums?
No, guitar.
No, guitar and
me.
Conrad on drums, sorry,
Yes.
I knew I'd mess it up. How are you guys?
Good.
Pretty good, yeah.
Yeah, we're doing
Yeah.
well, thank
Yes, amazing. You had a show last night, how did that go?
you. It was interesting. It was fun.
He was at a cool place. It was Walter White's Meth Lab, aka Yuli's Brewery. It was a very cool place.
Very
And
good.
we got like basically unlimited free beer, although I didn't take advantage of that.
Yeah.
As much as I would have liked. But it was like 7 or 8% beer, and you just get as many as you want basically. So it was good fun. Yeah.
Going from left to right, what's something you've been listening to or watched?
Erica Badu, however you pronounce their name. That's pretty cool. Band called Defeated Sanity, who are a German technical death metal band, and they have terrible production, but I'm seeing them tonight, so I'm catching up on them.
I was making dinner last night, and I discovered the Doors are the best band to make dinner to. Actually.
Oh, which
I
one?
was just chopping carrots, like just any like the album.
This is the
self-titled, is that what it's called? Yeah. There's something about just the hypnotic like,
Yeah.
and like some like
The
little
Doors
key
are-
solo, just like chopping carrots and like yes. You know? So yeah, the Door. I think it's 2 of the Doors.
Been listening to a lot of Bar Italia lately. They're a good band. I had like a really big 80s obsession a while ago, so I've been like kind of revisiting that, listening to a lot of Bauhaus. Yeah.
I've been listening to a lot of Famous. I'm pretty sure the EP is called Surf's Up 2 or something like that. It's like a post-punk kind of new band. Like, sorry good. It's really good. Amazing. It's a great EP.
How would you describe your sound? Yeah, pitch your sound to people who don't know, I suppose.
Well, I don't know, like alt rock, I guess.
Yeah, that's a good umbrella term. A vague area is alternative rock.
I'd say we're still under rock.
Well,
Grungy.
indie rock is indie.
Bit of post-punk. It's
Yeah.
kind of like us where we all look very different and like we all come from different like, you know, music or I guess whatever backgrounds. Even though it's pretty similar, but we'll kind of come together and make a silly mess of sound that sounds okay.
I reckon if people want to know what we sound like, check out the songs on Spotify.
Oi!
There you
That's a
go.
little plug there.
So your name is Euterpe, as we established.
Correct.
There's some connection to Greek myth. Could you elaborate on that?
So she is Euterpe, is the Asian Greek muse of lyric poetry. Yeah. Whoa. And yeah, there's a lot of cool history behind it. I won't give too much away because we're like so mysterious. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Like that's the literal
Okay.
translation of the name. Yeah.
Do you have a favourite myth?
If we're talking Greek myths, probably, I don't know, the one that's been on my mind a lot lately is the one about Prometheus
Yeah.
stealing
Oh,
fire
it's so
to give
good.
to mankind, and then Zeus is like, dude, why'd you do that? And he punishes him by leaving him on a mountain, and every night his liver gets eaten.
By a
and then
raven or something.
Yeah, and then it regrows. I just think that that's really brutal. Yeah, and that happens to him for eternity.
Yeah.
The origin creation story in like Turkic mythology is like a dude gets with a wolf.
Really?
Yeah, and creates like a wolf demigod. It's like the original furry stuff.
I think I like the Narcissus. We have a song about like Narcissus falling in love with himself and his own reflection in the water. That's pretty dope.
I wouldn't say he's the main character of that story, Oscar.
Yeah.
So Echo and Narcissus, we'll give like a little bit of backstory to that one. So that's one of the more popular ones. Narcissus falls in love with his own reflection. A lesser known part of that story is Echo, who basically like kind of fell in love with him, and she was known amongst the nymphs like for talking a lot. She was a bit of a smartass, a bit of a loudmouth, and they punished her by only being able to say what Narcissus says, so she has to repeat it back to him. Anyway, there's a side story, there's like a little bit of like a Eternal Sunshine side plot moment where Pan, who's like the famous satyr, like the little goat man,
Yeah.
he falls in love with Echo and she doesn't love him back and he's like, okay, heartbroken. And then he falls in love with someone else named Cyrix, who, it's really awesome. She was sworn to abstinence, so she didn't want to like, you know, get with this guy, and he fell in love with her, and to escape him she turned herself into like a bunch of reeds, so like the plant. He turns her into what is now known as the pan flute. So the little flute, and it's named after him even though it's made of her body. Anyway, it's a very interesting one. I feel like it's lesser known, but
And that's a tangent to the Narcissus.
yeah, it's all
That's
connected, like, yeah.
Very cool. Speaking of which, your song Tulips is out, has been out for a while. Just talk about that maybe.
Yeah, you guys can kind of
Yeah,
read this
Tulips
one.
is an interesting song, I think. I mean, I love it. I think it's great.
One of the first ones that we played together.
Yeah.
True.
I think we've grown a lot as a collective since then. But yeah, really good song. Bianca's a genius.
Oh my god, it's a collaborative project.
We recorded Tulips very early on.
Yeah.
We'd only
Yeah.
been a band for a couple months.
We hadn't played a gig before, and we recorded because it was lockdown, and you know.
I feel like we figured out a lot of the song in the studio as well, rather than having it super polished and then bring it in.
Which is probably something we learnt.
Yeah.
So we've just been in the studio and we're going back on Tuesday, which is the 12th. So
Yeah.
if people are watching this, it may have already happened. But
Yeah.
no, these new songs, I think when people listen to them, it'll be evident that we've, I think, developed a sound a bit more.
Yeah.
And just cultivated our craft
Ooh.
in a way which is a little bit more original. Not that Tulips doesn't sound original, but I don't know. These ones I think sound like Euterpe, is what our producer said. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
It definitely is more of our like, you know, evolved
Yeah.
sound, I guess.
Amazing. And you learned lots of lessons from Tulips.
And-
I mean, staying on that
Yeah.
thought, is there any advice you'd give to upcoming groups or...
Yeah, definitely. I think immerse yourself in the wonderful scene we have in Sydney, which is obviously been through a lot of stress and outside influence with lockdowns and 10 years of just like a government which is patently aggressive to music. But there's so many wonderful bands here. If you want to, grow your audience, you really should not be scared of going to shows.
Do it, yeah.
Like go to shows you're not
Yes.
playing at. I think a lot of people are hesitant to do that, maybe because they feel awkward or for whatever reason. Yeah, just immerse yourself in the community because then you're going to get offers to play with people. We've just had recently quite a lot of bands who we've gone to see, ask us to play with them. So then, you're gaining something as well, and you just become a part of this community. It's a really wonderful thing. That's on the gigging front.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to recording, I don't know, what would you say?
Practice your part.
Practice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do like a really rough recording like at home so you can... Because when you're just playing it to yourself, it sounds alright. But then when you listen back, even if it's like a really crappy like single microphone thing, you can hear errors so much more clearly and you can figure out what needs work on. Because then when you go into the studio and it's not quite up to scratch, there's not much room to fix it up.
Recordings, yeah. When you're recording songs, make them playable live, because Tulips is really hard
It's
to
really
play
difficult.
live.
It is honestly. I think most of the songs are pretty we like to challenge us. I don't want to. My personal. This is me being a dickhead now. I'm just gonna say it. Whatever. My personal philosophy is I don't want to do anything without trying. And there is a place for that. I think not all good music is very difficult, and I'm not saying that all of our songs are difficult, but there is some element of we put work into it. It's not just this came out of my arse and I'm a creative genius. We actually put time and effort into it. It's not just whatever. I hope it comes through, and I hope people appreciate that. But yeah, it's definitely a labor of love. Find people that you love working with. I think we struck gold. We're very
Yeah.
I think it's all very peace and love, like, you know, kumbaya, whatever.
No, also just like, yeah, obviously playing together as much as you can really helps to like give you kind of more cohesion. Yeah, I think that's a really important part of developing your sound.
Amazing. Well, last episode we spoke with Paz from Breakdown and Nervous Rex. Is there any groups in the Inner West you'd recommend or venues you'd recommend to find talent?
Well, we were talking about this earlier, but At Arm's Length, very, very good.
I agree.
Yeah, they're a punk band. They don't have anything on Spotify as of right now, but go see them live. They're really good live.
They rock and roll.
Yeah.
Except not, they punk and roll. They punk in a hardcore manner.
Yeah.
Memory Motel, great psych rock band.
Really lovely people. as
Lovely
well.
people. Astral Juice, we played with them on Thursday. Played with them on Thursday at the Oxford Art Factory, that was great. Yeah, there's so many bands they literally just go down to the, like,
There's a million.
Newtown Kick Street, just walk into any venue, there'll probably be a band playing.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Tilapia. I have the
Yeah.
biggest crush on Tilapia as like a fan. And they're all scared of me now because they're like, thank you. And I'm like, I fucking love your band. I really do. And I'm like, okay, we get it. They're really great. The Union is a really great place to go, and the Vic, both free entry. Usually the Union is free entry.
Yeah.
Ulysses is free entry.
Botany View.
Botany View.
That's
Botany
free
View.
as well.
Free entry.
Yeah.
Kelly's is often free.
Yep. Kelly's sometimes paid, but again, like a classic place, lots of great acts usually at Kelly's.
Kelly's is probably the most, like, rowdy, like, chaotic place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I like Pit. The band Pit.
So,
Oh,
They're
yeah.
good. They play some. It's rocky. They got a little bit of heavier elements incorporated, and they're nice people. Oxford Art Factory is a good venue. It
Yeah.
sounded really
Yeah.
good. Spencer mixed. It sounded tremendous. Yeah.
there's so many. Like we've played with so many great acts. You know,
It's hard to, like, remember them all.
It really
is. Because they're so good and talented.
Oh, we saw Carnations opening for
Yeah.
Body Type the other day. I thought they were really cool.
I'm wearing my Body Type t-shirt.
Oh yeah, Body Type are great. I mean,
Yeah.
they're, like, a lot bigger than anyone and us, so...
But they're really sick. Honestly, yeah, they're like a lot of these free entry places have some really great acts. I think Botany View, honestly, at the moment, is the one that I probably venture to the most.
Yeah.
They've had some really great.
Well, it's just like walk in, it's the first room, you walk into the building and you're already in the gig and, like, the sound's good.
Yeah.
It's a cool space.
It's a cool space.
I appreciate a venue where you can go somewhere slightly quiet.
Yeah.
They got nice chairs. And the green room's very green. It's a very good shade of green, which is excellent. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, absolutely.
Amazing. To pivot a little bit, where this is like the most cliched question ever, but where do you see Euterpe in 5 or 10 years?
Well...
Dead.
In the grave.
I don't think we're looking... I think it's easier to look short term when you're in a band and think, like, where are we going to be next year?
Yeah.
What sort of things do we
Yeah.
want to do in the near future? Because banking on some sort of global success is a bit unwise sometimes.
Of course.
I mean, it would be cool.
It would be awesome.
Yeah.
I think, like, in the very near future, we'd like to maybe go to a few other cities, so
Yeah.
Wollongong or
Melbourne,
Newcastle,
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 Central Coast.
yeah, all those places. You know,
Wagga Wagga.
We've played with a band last night who were from the coast.
Yeah, Star Generation.
Star Generation. We
Yeah.
played with
They're really
at
sick.
Yuli's, they were great. So it just seems like there's so many different places we can go in the near future that I think that's where our sights are set
Just
at the moment.
expanding your horizons.
Yeah, just like, you know,
Take it as it comes.
take it
right?
as it comes. We're probably gonna, you know, we've got some songs coming out soon. So we just recorded an EP.
Mm-hmm.
We might be doing some other recording stuff, which is, you know, for the fans. Yeah, but just to answer your question, 5-10 years, I don't think we're
Somewhere.
that far ahead at this stage. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
think we're all pretty committed to the band, at least for the foreseeable
Absolutely.
future.
Yeah.
So onwards and upwards.
Oh, did we mention E.T.? I think so.
Yeah.
It's been,
Yeah,
like,
yeah. At the
kind
very
of-
beginning, we
yeah.
introduced him.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Them.
Okay.
They- do you have anything to say?